Hi everybody, it's Linz at Foundling Studio. This is part 4 of the 7 shirt upcycling project. Here with my foxes. Today we are going to finish packaging the shirts for the seamstress and send them off, and then if there's time, if it doesn't go too long, we will see what I got back from the seamstress, which is my favorite part. It's like Christmas in spring. So the first thing I'm doing, and I already started it a little bit here, you can see, is I'm going to draw a little diagram of all the pieces involved. One of the things that's really important if you're taking stuff to the seamstress is that you got to tell her if you're using more than one thing. Like in this case, I'm writing top on here because she needs to know. I want the flower side facing up on the collar. So when I give these things to her, I do it so that she can see. This is the sleeve, this is the cuff. I'm going to fold this right into here. Now this is where I made a boo-boo. Part of this I cut wrong, so I've just got to make sure I fix that before I send this out. I realized there's such a thing as seam allowance, and I was using a 5/8 seam allowance, but the seamstress uses, like she does, like about 1/4 inch of a seam allowance because it's a finished product. What seam allowance really is for, it's so that you can adjust the size and let it out a bit if you've made something too small, if you're making something custom. But if you're just making ready-mades, I guess you don't need a seam allowance because you're not going to do any alterations. She just sews it right close to the edge, so I have to accommodate for that. Because the first time I got her to make stuff, everything she made was a bit bigger than I had intended, and the collars were wider, and yeah. So I learned my lesson. I asked her to educate me on how to do this for her. And I took notes, and this piece is going to fit like that right here. And now it should all be tickety-boo for her. And I kind of try to lay them in a way that speaks to how it's actually going to be sewn. So there's the facing. Voila. So I'm just teaching myself as I go along how to film myself work, how to make a pack for a seamstress, how to use an Etsy shop, and just being bold about it. That's all I'm doing. And seeing where that leads me. All right, so that's another one ready. Cauliflower guy should be already in the right. Everything should be kind of where it needs to go. Let's just make sure. Collar. Of course, we want the cauliflower on the top. I mean, a fabric like this doesn't come along every day. This one I know I have to change. Look at that. It's a tea towel. Old-fashioned London. I just love that kind of stuff. This is the front, which is another tea towel of Scottish animals, wildlife. Again, I have to change this piece. When everything matches up and lines up properly, makes their work a lot easier. And Donna is such a good seamstress. I want her to want to make my clothes. And therefore, I try to pay her well and give her good instructions and cut out my patterns properly, because, you know, I don't know if you guys know, that is one of the issues with fast fashion, is that seamstresses are not being paid a living wage and they're working in other countries. And that's why you can buy a shirt for $10 or $5. I mean, if you really think about it seriously, it starts with the farming, or the, you know, like there's so many steps in making a garment. There's no way they should be that cheap. And if you care about what I'm saying, maybe do some research. You'll be appalled. All right, so that should be ready to go then. Last but not least, I don't know why Puff likes this pattern so much, but he just wants to lay on here. There you go. Sorry, Puff. I need to work on this. Okay, move it. Move over. Pancake. I just want to be completely transparent about what I do. I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. I'm not gonna pretend I went to the greatest fashion schools in Paris, but I am an artist and I know what I like, and I also like precision and beauty and individuality and uniqueness. I love it. So I want to give people an opportunity to have clothes that are unique and original and maybe a bit humorous. I like humor. I love to make people smile, and so if the clothes make people smile, like a cassette shirt and a cauliflower shirt and a children's drawings shirt, then I'm all in. Okay, so I've got all my little bundles in here with a paper in between each one to separate them, and then I've got my little sheet of all the parts. I've got my sample shirt, and I'm going to put in a bunch of interfacing. So I'm going to give her a medium weight interfacing, and I'm going to give her a lightweight one, and then she can choose, because really she is the professional sewer. I'm more of a designer and a playing around with stuff person. I do make a lot of my outfits, don't get me wrong, but if I want to make multiples, this is easier and it's faster, and I can try to fill a whole Etsy shop. Here it is. My traveling companion is ready to go. Hey Puff, are you coming along? And we're off. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the finished pieces.